All right, Stabber Traders, welcome on back here this Wednesday afternoon, December 20th, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Great to see Grant still with us and Kathleen, Alex P. Had Chuck before, who's been actually cleaning up today on a few different trades. And, great to see Linda as well and all of our students and members alike inside our live trading room. So, of course, we always start with what's on the screen to begin this meeting. Great to have all of us back on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc. So, hey, here we always start this afternoon meeting off with what is on the screen in front of you right here. So, of course, we're going to talk about the Butler Bulldogs. Butler is now 10-2 just in, across the regular season here in college basketball. They just won their first conference game. No, I'm kidding, obviously. I'm obviously kidding. We're talking about POL, obviously, the stock that is up nearly 1,000% right now, folks. I mean, it ended up making pretty much that move earlier today, up towards $10, even above it just a moment ago. So obviously, we got to talk a little bit about this POL here. Obviously, it was a little joke there to begin, but of course, Butler doing pretty good too. Now, hey, with that in mind, we'll do a little analysis here since we just came off Traders Talk just yesterday. So, for right now, the stock was chopping around going into the market open. It was just holding lower highs and higher lows, just kind of coiling in sideways a bit here throughout pre-market. Opening bell hit for as much as it was up in pre-market. And we said this just earlier throughout the day. You do expect profit taking. I mean, hey, like imagine the stock dropping off for months on end and then you buying here, it continues to drop off another 50+%. It's like, all right, well, by the time it's like making this miracle pop up here, ended up seeing this pull back afterwards, right? And made an initial drop, and that's expected for a stock that was up like 100%, 200%, let alone how much this moved up towards later on. But that's, for later on throughout the day. The opening print today was this 73, 74K print at 224. So in the grand scheme of big levels, that's going to be pretty large. Now, I was on a coaching call with one of our students earlier. I didn't get my hands on this throughout the day. I know a bunch of our students did. Like I said, Chuck cleaned up on this among others. But it just throughout this morning, we ended up seeing this iceberg show up at 210, 211. It started to show up here at 212 and get tested and hit. And then it was really here 211 where we started to see this pop up just for about 30 minutes leading into the opening bell. So the longer it's out there, that price at least you tend to focus on. You say, hey, that could be a strong focal point throughout the day. You're not expecting 1,000% mover, of course, but throughout the morning, it ended up breaking down below that price. So even here, perhaps you'd expect support. It just breaks under it and stays under. It's not even an under and over. It doesn't tease you. It just breaks right through it. It's like, all right, well, there goes that. No move. So it just keeps dropping there for the meantime. Hey, for Chuck, Linda, and all of our students here, really quick, a little free education actually for all of us on social today too. Just because it's just on the top of my mind. When this breaks down below this 210 line here, this blue line at $2.10 as a support, well, that support should initially look to become what? Resistance, right? Margaret first to the punch there, and Sam and all of us. All right, so before it really broke out, well, look what happens here. It came up to it, tested it, held as resistance, and it made a sharper drop off at first. But then from that point, the more times it could nip and gnaw that level in which it held it perfectly on a couple of attempts after, well, just going into noontime, obviously, or 11:30 even, led to the next break over it there, and then just completely blew the roof off the place. Obviously, broke above next resistance, moved up much higher. Now, heading into the afternoon, the more it goes up, the more you can like hope and dream it could like hit a psychological level, perhaps like $10. So with that said, it moved up to 10. It actually broke over it there for a bit. The thing on this trade, it doesn't really have much like historical levels to work with otherwise. Dating back to July, it dropped off. So I was thinking 10, maybe it could be a target for later. And it just effortlessly moved up there earlier on today. So at this point now, it just is beginning to break a bit of a lower low right now. It was holding that support line just a moment ago I built. That was just from the chart earlier. So POL, does it hurt us to put this on our quote unquote watch list? No, as long as you realize, like, hey, you're not forced to trade the stock, especially if it's dropping off from this point forward. So if it ends up beginning to build back up above that 846 there, then there's a chance. As we're talking, maybe it begins to do it here, maybe a little under over to start, but don't necessarily get your hopes up. This thing is up God knows how much already. It is already a Christmas gift early, is a late Hanukkah gift perhaps for those that celebrate like myself. Either way, you just don't want to go into the holiday season sour. So, yeah, going to add this to our list. Nice stock to begin. I mean, hey, we said it before just a number of months back. We're going to find a stock like POL coming up in the future, right? And we said that just recently with we said it with MLGO. We said on a bunch of these trades that made these big, 100%, 300%, let alone 1,000% pops. This one over time. There's a couple others throughout this calendar year. It's been actually a long week already on the stick, actually, throughout the morning and afternoon quite often this week. So it's been a bit of a tough time. There's a couple here today. There are a couple here throughout the year that I can recall just if it gave me time. But obviously, MLGO, just looking at that being one. We had VSME being another big pop throughout this year, pop and drop, but nonetheless, big percentage gainer at the time, right? So with that said, Chuck saying Cala, is that right now or is that throughout earlier this year? Cala, yeah, this one also good shout from Chuck. I mean, this is like nearly 100% mover back in earlier this month, but we're talking even like the crazier ones, like the Hall of Fame stocks, like the 2,000, 3,000% movers, right? Because hey, that is now POL. It was it earlier, it's 1,000% gainer technically from just yesterday's closing price. So, with that said, I'm going to put this on our list. Let's see what else we can grab though. Otherwise, right? Let's just check in with the market first. Ooh, a little bit of a pullback here, my friends, don't we have? All right, so I don't know if there's any news that came out across the market right now, but for as much as we've ran up over the last several days, even on the red days that we've had, we've moved up higher the following. So is it the beginning of a rounded top over time? Maybe, a little bit of a pullback here, back down to the open price essentially. So maybe there could be some good shorts, but let's just start right from the top of the gainers list here, see what else we got. Now, as much as we're talking about the market dropping and potential shorts, hey, for as much as we saw POL pump up earlier today, even if this does not continue, there could be a trade or two out there that will look to pump. There might be traders out there that can push a stock up that we as retail traders will look to try and follow on our gainers list and Benzinga, all of our scans that we got, stock like EFSH. I know Rich called out just right before this meeting started, cheapy here, but broke out over $1 or over 90 cents, then $1. This thing's all over the map actually here, up, down, a couple of down halts in fact there. So almost a little too crazy for my liking actually. So I'll come back to that if you really want me to give a second look perhaps, but PRZO, this thing's been flat, really choppy trade here thus far. The one thing that actually this thing has that's a bit of a redeeming quality is higher lows, right? Throughout the whole morning here since 11:30, higher lows, nice trend up. Is it possible it holds that and pushes up higher? I'll come back to it like the other one. So we got PRZO on the side list. We got EFSH, writing those down at least for the end. All right, we keep it going though. AAGR, also a cheapy stock there. Not really too interested in those now at this point. Just check out some of the Bitcoin mining stocks actually here too. Canon, SOS, Hive. This one was a really good call out earlier today off of 434, 438 level. Now that could be pretty good support on a potential pullback here. So, I'm not a fan of the drop. I'll pass on these trades altogether for the afternoon. Probably same to be said for Mara. Yep. I mean, obviously, this is going to be more influenced by the S&P either way, regardless of Bitcoin. So, consider this to be a larger cap stock comparative to all those tinier ones like Hut or Hive or I know Rich called out BTBT I think earlier. Not a bad shout, and just all of them are starting to pull back a bit. So, not as tempted just yet in those. You got T2. This one we've seen over the years. IBRX, not much happening there either. All right, so if there's anything else like really strong right now at the HOD right now or trending back up pretty nicely, definitely type it in the chat board right now, folks. Type it in right now. Just let me know. Hop over to the loser side here, seeing if there's anything looking good from that side. So maybe catch some good shorts. This MSAI, I mean, technically is shortable on TradeStation, believe it or not. Or easy to borrow rather, but just ended up seeing this pull back. It's down a lot percentage wise to maybe you could see maybe shorts to cover, potential squeeze back up. I don't like the order book. That's the thing about it. It's just very thin orders out there altogether, big spread. When we're talking about going into the holiday season, really, in a good mood, not sour, that plays in part with it. So had a tiny little dead cat bounce on blue earlier today. It doesn't necessarily look at, zoomed out, but after the market opened up, small little pop, right? 128 up to 140. I know your worth on a trade like that. And just it's slow moving now at this point, given how cheap it is. When it was a $4 or $5 stock, it was moving a lot better in terms of cents per share and how much you can make on the morning. So hey, for this trade, like 10, 12 cents, not bad. Just otherwise though, don't get stuck holding on to this now at this point. All right. What else we got? Seeing if there's anything looking good here from the loser side though. AHCO. Ooh, actually, in terms of tradability and everything that you want out of a stock that could be a good short, this really fits the shoe, the shoe fits the foot, might I say. So here, this is pretty much approaching all-time lows back from November 10th week right here, 637. Yeah. All right, we'll take it. Haven't seen this ticker before. So AHCO, good spread at least. Easy to borrow at the lows. Go to finally beginning to pull back more. Fausto had a great short on that last week. It is still easy to borrow for myself, at least on TradeStation. Neo taking a bit of a hit. That could be on our list here at this point, but it's just a little slow mover. You want something faster for your time. Array could be that. This seems to be, a little bit more room to the ground floor and dropping off pretty nicely. Doesn't hurt for Array to be on our list now as a potential short. And if the markets hold, we got to bounce back up, then vice versa. Grant says I have a new internet. Okay, so let's see if there's anything else here, folks. Looking good here, just on the gainers or losers list. Just type it in the chat board right now. Chuck with that Cala, I think that was from earlier that we were looking at, but that was more from just going over the example from earlier in the month. All right, so check out. Let's take a look here. Just see. Not really too much out there. VVOS, Chegg, SOS. We saw that before, but yeah, when it's pumping out stocks like that, to me, that's like not really too good. Chegg here, nah, it's only up 1%. It's like not really doing anything. And like aside from this last pop, doesn't look bad here, this last pop, but I'm not putting a stock up 1% on our watch list. Unless if we like did really well on it the day before, we crushed it and it was up like 30% yesterday, so, something like that, but that ain't this one here. So going back to at least the couple that we had on our side list, does it hurt to put EFSH now on there? I mean, I hope this thing really doesn't pull back hard from this point. It really needs to continue to build up, but it doesn't hurt us to add this to our list. And then PRZO, this is just flat. Oh my God, this is choppy and flat. I think Fausto, if you were to see this on the watch list, you'd be like, what is this doing on the watch list right now, right? It is still making higher lows, don't get me wrong, but it's making lower highs. It's at that point of indecision. So which way is it going to break? We don't have a huge watch list right now. So that's where I say, by deduction, it doesn't hurt us to, kind of eliminate the others and come down to the PRZO and slip this just at the end. If this just tanks from here, then obviously game over. All right, so last call, folks. Up, down, left, right, more than 5%. Just let me know here really quick. I know, of course, we're speaking to a slightly smaller crowd. We got a bunch of us still here, of course, but, hey, holiday trading kicking in. We see it all throughout the market. Perhaps there could be a volatile market into the close, just given, how much we've moved up of late. We could still be working in a volatile market heading into Christmas Eve time, heading into Christmas week and New Year's week, obviously. But markets will be closed on those days, of course, and we'll see if there's any good activity. But this is the time where people and traders in our room will begin to slowly, take time off, kind of start their holidays a bit early, especially if they've been doing well, making some good money. All right. So, hey, I don't see anything else. I guess I'll take a look just really quick. I'm not too much in the business of shorting the crypto stocks. Can you do that? Yes. But when it comes to following just a stronger sector over time, I'm not really in the business of trying to short them unless if there's bad news or unless if they're actually down like 10, 12, 13%, or 5%, whatever it is. These have been trending up so well. Of course, they're going to pull back, but I'd be more looking for bounces at least. There's still good sideless stocks, of course. Got a couple here, maybe AFRM dumping off pretty hard. So again, doesn't hurt us to add this at least. We were just talking about a stock, hey, down 5% plus at the lows. Well, in this one, definitely. UPST, they're all in the same business basically. So I think I like a firm just more. This is down not 5%, but down 2.5% at least, at the lows. I think that we'll keep this on our side list, and pretty much there could be a few more that will look like this, unless if it's down really to the extent of AFRM. I'm not gonna like really put as much focus on it just yet, at least. IO and Q obviously not looking too bad as a short though. All right, so that will wrap things up, at least for all of us here on YouTube, social media. Look to join us inside our live trading room to continue the party, at least with Grant, James, Kathleen, Leda, and all of our students alike, just right there. And myself, hey, I'll be back on the mic just coming up in about 14, 15 minutes right now, so stay tuned. Going to recharge here and fill up the water, and we'll be good to go momentarily. But hey, if you're on social media, a couple things just really briefly. Just if you have any other questions, feel free to just shoot me over a quick email, josh@ctutrading.com. And then otherwise, hey, if you're interested in joining us inside our trading room, that is, just scan that QR code on the top left, or you can go right down to the link on the scrolling green banner below, c2.co/trial. Just get you access to a week-long trial inside our live trading room. Continue with us later today, and then, of course, all throughout this week and next. Of course, with the holiday coming up on Monday, this goes for new members joining us here too. Just make sure that you contact our office. Make sure that you speak to your education advisor joining us here, and that's basically the middle woman as well between you and Fausto, you and myself, where they could address that. They could reset your trial, add the extra day to account for Monday with Christmas. So we always look to take care of you in that regard, right? So hey, either way, best of luck trading going into the market close for all of our students. At least I will be back on just momentarily.